Hey there, Brandi here. So I have a question for you. How many of you folks watching host events or facilitate workshops or do public speaking or coach or just do any work in general where you're serving people face to face? You're speaking to people, you're empowering people, you're motivating people, you're engaging with people. If you are doing any of that, then I have a quick tip for you. So, in my work with my business Expand, I do a lot of workshop facilitation, coaching, and in general icebreakers to facilitate group and individual growth. And I also host a monthly event called Toast You, where I empower women to celebrate themselves and other women by making intentional space and time for celebration and personal growth. And in doing this work in Expanded and Toast You, there's an exercise that I started to adopt that really elevates the level at which I perform in these spaces. And I'm going to share that with you in the event that you have an event coming up or a workshop or someone you're going to coach soon. So what you're going to do is you want to begin with the end in mind. That's one of the 7 habits of highly effective people. But you're going to think of 3 specific categories of ends for your client, customer, person you're serving, etc. And this is something that also works well for job interviews, or if you're applying for a school. You want to ask yourself 3 things. What do I want people to walk away thinking? What do I want people to walk away saying? And what do I want people to walk away feeling? Thinking, saying, feeling. If you get very specific and concrete about those 3 things, you'll be very surprised to see what manifests. I know for me, I did this with my job interview. I wanted to not only impress them, impress the institution I was applying for, and also show my credentials, but I also wanted them to feel understood. I wanted them to feel impressed. I also wanted them to feel like they were interacting with someone with passion, right? I want them to walk away thinking and feeling a certain thing. With workshops, you may have an objective for your workshop or class that you're teaching, but what do you want people to think about when they're done with that workshop? I know for me, a lot of times when I'm doing workshops, I want people to walk away thinking, wow, this was a really good use of my time, or wow, I would have paid more for that. This was really affordable. Or saying, when is the next one of these? Can I bring 2 other people with me? Or feeling that they are one step further, one step closer to their goals than they were before they walked in the door of that workshop. So thinking about these 3 areas, what do you want someone to walk away feeling? What do you want someone to walk away thinking? And what do you want someone to walk away saying? Really gets you in essentially in the practice of envisioning your ideal outcome for these scenarios. And in my experience, I've been drastically surprised, almost eerily surprised sometimes, with how similar my expected outcome or dream outcome is with the actual outcome. Now, I obviously can't tell how people are feeling unless they tell me how they feel. And I don't know what people are thinking, but you can always see what people say by doing a wrap at the end of your exercise, or your workshop, whatever. So you can always say, let's do a 1-word wrap, or, does anyone have any general feedback? Or if you do surveys after an event. And it's been really creepy, but also awesome to see people saying things that are verbatim on the list of things I want people to say when they leave an experience that I'm facilitating or creating. Or people expressing their feelings to me in a way that is using the exact same language from that list of emotions that I wanted to evoke in them, right? And it is I just want you to try it with the next endeavor that you have. And I haven't tried this for dating because I've been with my guy for so long, but I want someone to try this with dating. If you're going on a date with someone, what do you want the person to walk away feeling, thinking, and saying after your date? Just imagine that before you go on the date. Now, the beautiful thing about this exercise is not just a lofty envisioning exercise, but it allows you to actually create workshops or events or material if you're teaching. It allows you to create the curriculum and make sure you have sort of guideposts. So I know for me, if I never start playing a workshop, I don't write an outline or anything until I do this activity first. So say I know the name of the workshop that I'm doing. For example, when me and co-owner of she's the owner of the She Hive in Ferndale, Ursula Adams, when we were planning for our New Year's Day She Soul seminar, we did this exercise of what we wanted the women to walk away feeling, thinking, and saying. And that really helped to organize the content that we were talking about. It helped us to make sure we didn't miss any talking points. If you want someone to feel heard, but you don't have a part of your workshop or class that includes listening, there's a disconnect there, and you can course correct for that. In a job interview, if you want people to walk away thinking that you really know their company, you can then make sure to take the time to learn certain facts that could demonstrate that understanding or knowledge, right? So it not only gives you this vision, but it also gives you some meat or some bones that you can begin to put meat on. It gets you into action that could work towards those ends. And generally that's how goal setting goes, but it doesn't have the same amount of pressure and exactness as a goal. So say, for example, I have a workshop and I want to make a certain amount of money off of it or have a certain amount of attendees come. That's one thing. Those are metrics and that's good to have. But even if, I don't hit those, 2 people come and they walk away thinking, feeling, or saying some of those things I anticipate, I know that the event was a success from that standpoint. I know that at least the material, the curriculum, the intention was met, even if the goal wasn't met. And I think that's something that's important. Me and one of my best friends were actually talking about this lately, the difference between having goals, which are healthy, but also having intentions. And there's different goal setting, I would say schools of thought on, what percentage of success you should have with goals. And the one that I'm most familiar with, and my best friend May is also familiar with, is that you should only be meeting about 60% of your goals. Because if you're meeting 100% of your goals, it means you're setting really easy goals. Your goals aren't pushing you far enough. And you're making less than 60% of your goals. Your goals are set, they're way too high. They aren't broken down enough for you to feasibly accomplish them. But if you're only looking at goals, and I talked about this in that earlier video with my therapist, there can be some form of anxiety or almost this feeling like you're grading yourself, right? And it's easy to do that from a business perspective, to feel like your business is failing because you aren't hitting certain metrics. And yes, you want to have a return on investment if you're a business owner, or, if you're doing community work, you want to make sure your work is moving some of these issues that you're working towards, social justice issues or community growth, whatever work you do. So yes, you want to have goals, but you don't want to feel that you're off track if you're not hitting those numbers. Having an intention allows you to know if your work is heading in the right direction, even if you've not met those marks yet, right? And so intentions allow you to still have aim and focus, and they also carry you when you're not quite hitting your goals, and they help you to think about ways you can course correct without feeling like you have to throw in the towel or start over. So I know oftentimes people may feel with any type of work they're doing, right? Personal work or business work, community work, whatever. If they aren't, say if someone is working on environmental justice and they aren't moving the needle on eradicating, unfair practices, or they aren't shifting climate change and global warming drastically, they may feel like, I am not doing what I set out to do. However, if they understand their intentions and what their aim is, they can stay true to that and shift behavior without feeling like, oh, this isn't working. It's hopeless. I'll never be able to impact anything, right? And so I'm saying this to you, but this is something that I also need to keep in mind often is, on this journey of life and work, and personal growth and development, there may be moments where you aren't meeting some specific marks that you set for yourself, where you can't see the needle moving. That doesn't mean that you're off track if you know your intentions and if you are staying true to them. Okay? So, quick exercise and some stream of consciousness thoughts that I want to share. Hope this was nourishing to you, mind, body, and soul. And remember, change is inevitable, but growth is a choice. I'm Brandi Keeler, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye.